Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to Rob's Rig. So I did a video recently on the essential beginner mods, things that you should do or can do yourself if you're a beginner on the Jeep Wrangler. So I thought it would be interesting to check out those that you should have professionally done. In other words, those that, unless you are a professional or are really experienced, should probably not attempt to do yourself on the Jeep Wrangler. So I thought it'd be interesting to go out on the web and do a little search and ask and see if I agree, and maybe if I've done any of these myself on either the Jeep Wrangler or other vehicles. So what I looked for is basically what are mods that you should have professionally installed, right? Those that you shouldn't do yourself. It says here, modifications that require professional installation generally involve critical safety systems, advanced electronics, specialized geometry tuning, or heavy-duty welding. And let me say first off, before we get into these, I agree with every one of these. These are mods that, except for maybe one, I probably would not attempt myself. Really, because of expertise, I don't have it. Experience, and even just having the tools to be able to do these things properly, right? So starting off, suspension and drivetrain, very important, right? If you don't do them right, you're going to know, and it could be a safety concern. Suspension lift kits over 2 inches. Kits requiring new control arms, track bars, and brake line extensions alter steering geometry and require a professional alignment to avoid the death wobble. Always have your Jeep aligned if you're going to do anything with the suspension. Even if you get in it, you take it for a drive, let's say you did do it yourself, and it feels right, you still need to have it aligned, right? And unless you've got the alignment equipment at home, probably is something you're going to have professionally done. Next up, re-gearing, ring and pinion. Changing differential gears for larger tires requires microscopic precision measurements, specialized shims, and high tonnage presses. None of those things, I would imagine, most people have sitting around in their garage in the form of tools to be able to do that stuff. And it does make a big difference. I mean, if you're going to do a re-gear, you're going to be getting into something pretty specialized. And unless you've done it before or you're very daring, I would definitely have that done professionally. Lockers and axle upgrades. Installing air or electronic locking differentials requires complete disassembly of the axle housing and precise backlash tuning. Some of these things, I don't even know what they're talking about, right? Backlash tuning. I guess if you're deep into it, you might know. I'm trying to be fully transparent and honest here, and I don't. So that would definitely be something I would take to a professional shop, people with experience and the tools to be able to do that kind of a mod. Drive shaft replacements. Upgrading to heavy-duty double cardan drive shafts requires measuring precise pinion angles to avoid catastrophic highway vibrations. That alone sounds daunting, right? You never want to have a catastrophic highway vibration. And I did see that once, and I have mentioned this in other videos, and this is more like the death wobble, but somebody driving down the freeway with their front tires doing this. That could be a big problem, especially if it hits you and you've never experienced or know what it is. Structural and armor upgrades. Weld-on armor and brackets. Axle truss kits, heavy-duty gussets, and certain frame-mounted rock sliders must be welded by a certified professional to prevent frame damage. This is a no-brainer to me. Unless you're a professional welder and you have the welding equipment, I don't even know how you would attempt to do this yourself. I know there's people out there who might jump in, go buy a garage portable welder or something and give it a try. But imagine the damage you could do to your frame if you don't know what you're doing. Why wouldn't you have it professionally done? I would. Full roll cages. Aftermarket cage kits protecting the cabin require precise frame tie-ins, accurate notches, and structural welding. Again, this one for me is more about the welding. I mean, if you've got, I don't even know if you can get them, but if you had or found some sort of bolt-on cage, then maybe you could do it yourself. I mean, if it's just bolt-on, but how strong is that going to be if it's not welded? You certainly don't want to roll your Jeep, God forbid that ever happens to you, and shear off a bolt or two or all of them and have that cage collapse, which would of course defeat the purpose of protecting you. Definitely would have that done if welding is required. Next up, advanced electrical systems. The worst thing you could do is screw up the electrical system in your vehicle, your Jeep or anything else. Years ago, I remember when I was first getting my hands wet, a friend of mine wanted to put a radio in a Ford Escort. He bought it brand new, wanted a new radio. We put it in, turned the car on, and smoke started pouring out from behind the radio. It was bad. We burned up something. I don't know what we did. We took that radio out. He returned it. Maybe it was just the radio that we smoked. I don't know. Put the factory one back in and it worked, but we did something. It was not good. It says here, complex auxiliary switch pods, wiring multiple high draw accessories through a main control distribution block can cause vehicle fire risks if fuses and relays are miscalculated. This is the one that I disagree with. This is the one that I have done before on several vehicles myself. I kind of like dabbling with the electrical stuff as far as switches and things go. It can be done. You just have to do your homework, you know, triple check that you're using the right fuses and things. But if you're not familiar with that, you don't want to burn up your brand new Wrangler, right? Have that professionally done. Well worth the money, in my opinion. Remote starters and alarms. Integration with the factory security system and engine control module requires specialized diagnostic programming tools. Again, another one that even if you can manage to make the connections and put it in, do you have the diagnostic equipment to make sure that everything marries up correctly and you're not going to have any sort of gremlins or problems? You know, I see over on my Tacoma Facebook group, people doing some of the electrical upgrades or mods out there themselves, and then they have check engine lights or things that pop up on the gauge cluster, weird things that happen. I'll give you an example. A lot of people over there are putting on what's called fang lights. If you're not familiar, they're a light that fits in a blank on the front of the truck in the grill area. And then they're complaining that at night, which is really at night, but at times those lights pop on by themselves. Well, the reason that's happening is because they have connected it to a circuit that is not always off. You know, occasionally circuits pop on and off in vehicles to do various things, right? And if you connect your electrical accessory to that, it's going to come on at some points. Maybe when you don't want it to, could drain your battery. Now you go out in the morning to start it up, it won't turn on. Maybe not a bad idea for things that integrate into the system itself to have it professionally done. Anyway, those are the list of things that you probably ought to have professionally installed unless you're an expert at doing it yourself, or maybe you are the professional installer. Leave a comment. Let me know if you agree. I'd be curious to know. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.